we are going to start sitting, and today is gentle yoga. So take your cushions, blankets, whatever you need to make your practice be as gentle as possible this morning. I looked at the rota, the weekly schedule, and I realised I'm not supposed to be doing heart opening this week. I'm supposed to be doing twisting. Little change of plan. I'm doing heart opening. Hands are on knees, sitting up nice and tall. I don't know if it's true for you, but certainly for me, I'm really noticing this. The more that we come to our mat every day. I mean, some of us have been here since March last year doing this most days. And there is so much medicine in that consistency. The showing up for yourself every day. It's so potent. There's really no words to describe the knowledge that gives you of yourself. To watch those waves, the crests and the falls of life with this barometer of showing up every day. And I'm really noticing that the sitting, more and more, I really do recognise the need to have cushions underneath my pelvis so that my knees can get a bit lower. I mean, they're still too high now actually. But it is the regularity of the practice that's really showing me the things that are becoming important. So I hope that that's true for you too. So with hands on knees, sitting up nice and tall, spine long, chin gently dropped, shoulders away from ears. And just allowing your awareness to move down onto your breath, or rather to move in to your breath, not down. I know I've mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again. The brain has three primary kind of domains: the lower, the base layer, the middle layer, and the canopy at the top. The middle layer takes all the information and decides where to send it, all the emotions and sensations. This is the limbic brain. And its most direct route of communication is straight down to the brain stem, which holds your ability to breathe and the rhythms of your heartbeat and the salt levels in your body. It's your reptilian part of your brain, your primal function, the part that keeps you alive. And then secondary to that, information gets sent up to this cortex, this canopy at the top, which is where we can rationalize and philosophize and give things context. But the information goes straight through the brainstem first. It all begins with our survival impulse and the autonomic responses. And the only way we can influence that is our breath. Second to that is touch, when we want to touch. But primary, it's why the Breathwork Foundation is called the Breathwork Foundation. It's where it begins. So as you lengthen your inhale and deepen your exhale, you're working straight with that brainstem. It's right behind your throat, or behind the back of your mouth. That's where it's located. Going into the most primal part of yourself and giving yourself a loving hug right there. And gently take right ear to right shoulder. Chin down to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And coming up and over. And switching directions. coming to center, allowing the circles to come to your shoulders. How are they doing this morning? Inhaling as they come up towards the ears, exhaling as they roll down. And then circling elbows. And then taking time for full arm extensions. And then placing hands on knees, circling the heart. Sometimes I just love looking up at the screen and seeing all the little squares and all of us circling in our own way, in our own space. It just strikes me as something quite miraculous. And then changing direction, circling the other way. It's like this wonderful reflection. We're going inwards and we're doing the work for ourselves, we're showing up for ourselves, and then you look up and realize that there's these ripples of the same action going out all across Europe right now. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, coming up to center, circling your hands. Changing direction. Doing a little bit of witch's fingers. Reaching your arms up, interlink your fingers, press the palms up to the sky. And have a little wriggle from side to side here. Maybe a little bit of a crescent to one side, maybe a crescent to the other side. And then bringing your arms down, taking left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Inhale as you sit up, and exhale as you rotate. Inhale as you come back through to center, taking right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Inhale as you sit up, and exhale as you rotate. Inhaling back to center. Noticing how that feels. We're going to come onto all fours. We'll do a bit of low level flow before we come into a sequence of forward bends, allowing the heart to Feel expansion. Okay, hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. A little bit of cat and cow. Inhaling as you look forwards, tipping the tailbone up. And exhaling, tipping the tailbone down. Pressing down through the palms, letting the heart move up towards the sky. So this cat and cow is about heart opening, so let the heart be the origin of the movement. Moving to the dance beat of your breath. So let your breath set the tone, set the pace. And then coming to neutral, step your hands further forwards as we go into melting heart. So you'll find the right place for your hands to be. You're going to keep your bottom high and lower yourself down towards the floor. Maybe your forehead comes down, maybe your chin. It depends how your neck is feeling. And then the heart melts towards the floor. You gently pull back through your sitting bones. Keep the hands pressing into the floor. And then, keeping the forearms on the floor, let your hips start to roll forward. So you're coming down into a little Sphinx pose. You might need to reorganize the arms to feel comfortable. Flattening the feet, rolling the shoulders away from your ears, and just walking your ribcage a little further forward. And then lifting your gaze. And then exhaling as you lower your chest towards the floor, bringing your hands either side of your chest. Keep the elbows in, roll the shoulders back. And inhale a little baby cobra as you inhale and look up. You're just going to look to the front of your mat. You're not yanking the neck by looking straight forwards. You're still looking down at the ground. Exhale as you come down. Second time, rolling up. Might be a little bit more movement as you come, slowly warming the spine up. And third round. Exhaling as you lower yourself down to the ground. Push into the hands, sit back on your heels, stretch your arms out in front of you. Lovely prayer pose. Pick the right arm up, thread it beneath the left armpit, turning right ear to the floor. Inhale as you come back to center. Switch sides, left arm threads beneath right. Left ear to the floor. Inhale back to center. Coming up on your knees, reach your arms up overhead. Stretch your arms high. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Take a little side stretch over to the right hand side. like a little baby crescent moon from the moon sequence. Inhale as you come up, and exhale, take the right wrist, reaching it across and over to the left hand side. Inhale as you come up through to center. Sweep the arms round to the back. Take the hands to the lower back. Give your lower back a rub. Amazing structure that gives you so much mobility. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Draw the elbows towards one another. Look up. Lift your heart. And let the hips lean forwards. Doesn't need to be a big movement. Try to keep the heart lifting if you can. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale, bringing the hands forwards, coming back onto all fours. Inhale as you look forwards, and exhale as you take a little arch. Walk the hands ahead of you as you melt your heart down into the floor. Take an exhale here. Rolling forwards into Sphinx pose. Inhaling as you come up. You might even straighten the arms if your back's happy with that. Otherwise, keep the elbows down. And from Sphinx pose, bring the elbows back to the floor. Move the hips back, sitting into prayer pose. Inhale, arms rising up overhead. Exhale, hands to lower back. You can repeat where we went last time, or you can slide your hands down the backs of your thighs, pressing your hips forwards, looking up. Better not to be adventurous, better to stay in the comfort zone with these back bends, I think. Inhale, arms come up high. Exhale, coming onto all fours. Inhale, a little bit of cat. And making the most of the exhale as you press your heart towards the sky. Walk your hands forwards as you inhale. Exhale, melt the heart to the floor. Keep the elbows down as you roll forwards, inhaling. And maybe straightening the arms. Pause for a couple of breaths. They don't need to be straight. The elbows can be soft always. Elbows to the floor. Traveling back as you exhale into prayer. One more round. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhaling, taking hands back. So you can still just keep the hands at the lower back. You can slide the hands down the thighs, or if you've got strength in your thighs that allows you to take your weight forwards and back, then you can bring your hands to your heels. A little bit of camel. Hips pressing forwards, lifting your gaze, lifting your heart. It's a pretty strong pose for first thing in the morning. Another little nice sort of shortcut is to tuck your toes under, and then your heels are just a little bit higher. That sometimes makes it more accessible. Be happy with wherever you decide to go to today. Hands to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, heart presses up towards the sky. Inhale, hands walk forwards. Exhale, sitting back on heels. No, not sitting back on heels. Melting heart to the floor, bottom stays high. Elbows stay down as you roll forwards. An option to press into the hands. You might even want to bend the knees. Toes coming towards your bottom. Another very strong pose, so just go gently, take the option that feels genuinely good to you. Now sitting back on heels. Pick the right arm up, thread it beneath the left armpit. Pause for some breath. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, left hand threads beneath right. Left ear to the floor. Inhaling to center, walking your hands in. We're going to bring our legs straight out in front. So, perfect opportunity to grab a cushion. You want to just have that little bit of support under the pelvis, just perch on the edge of a cushion. Legs are straight out in front of you, toes are pointing upwards. Some people love working with a strap as well. You're welcome to take a strap. Before we go anywhere, bring your hands to your sides, fingers touching the floor. Some people might have their hands flat to the floor, it just depends on your proportions. But for me, I find it better to have fingers down. And then I can roll my shoulders back and keep lifting the sternum. And you're pressing out through your heels, toes are pointing up. Imagine drawing a midline the whole way through your body from the crown of your head down between your legs. See if you can draw everything into that midline of you. And perhaps you can connect with Mula Bandha here. A gentle activation of the muscles within the pelvis. And then bring the heels a little closer so the knees are bent. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, lean forwards and see if you can hook your armpits on top of your knees. And then perhaps you can take your hands over the tops of your feet. And then keeping your armpits and your knees connected, you can start to edge your heels forward. It has nothing to do with an elegant looking forward bend. But we're just curious how the hamstrings, if you keep your spine splinted by your thigh bones, how are your hamstrings? It gives you an indication of how much your lower back is accommodating the forward bends. And just listen out for the sound of your breath here. Inhale as you come back up and let the legs come flat to the floor. Inhale, reach your arms up. And we'll do another forward bend. And this time the lower back's got a bit more ability to move. You're going to take your two middle fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Thumbs closing the circle. If the toes are just a million miles away and you're nowhere near there, then just have your hands on your shins or bring your hands either side of your legs. That's quite nice. I often do the hands either side of my legs because I just love that feeling of support. And tap the chin towards the chest. Hear the sound of your breath. Early morning forward bends are a very different thing to even a 10 a.m. forward bend. Okay, inhale as you come up. Have a little wriggle. Reach your arms up high. And as you exhale, you're going to come into another forward bend. Still the toes are pointing upwards. This time the arms come around the outside and you're going to hold the little toe edge. So come to the top third of your foot, if your feet are within reach. And you're going to pull that top third back towards you. You'll notice it does change what's going on in your legs. If your toes are not in reach, again, have your hands either side and just take a moment to sway and to feel good in your forward bend. Tight muscles are a sign of your body's protectiveness of you. So just as a mother can be overprotective towards a child, your muscles can be overprotective towards you. And in their desire to keep you safe and well, they contract. So the only way that you can allow your muscles to lengthen is to assure them that you are safe and they don't need to protect you. And so this is where the breath comes in again. A deep breath tells the brainstem that you're safe, which then allows the muscles to relax. And that allows them to lengthen. Okay, inhale as you come back up. Reach your arms up high. You're going to take your hands around behind your back, fingers pointing towards your sitting bones. You're going to point your toes. Bring your legs together, so you're squeezing your legs in towards one another. Roll the shoulder heads back, soften the elbows, and see if you can lift your hips. Your toes will move towards the floor, and then lift your heart, looking up at the sky or at the ceiling. And then lowering yourself down. Keep your hands where they are. Bring your feet in, bending your knees. The feet are apart. They can be quite wide apart, as wide as the mat even. And you're going to drop knees to the right, looking to the left. Inhale as you come up to center. Exhale, knees to the left, gaze into the right. Moving from side to side. And then coming back to center, we'll fold our legs, cross our legs. Bring our hands to our heart center. So we have a group intention for the entire month for clarity. And our practice was designed to help our hearts to stay open. So I'm just offering this practice to clarity and the open hearts of all beings. Thank you for being here today. Namaste.